Joining us on Pirate Radio Live today, former ECU great Aundrae Allison, Chandler Honeycutt in Studio C as well. Aundrae, how you doing, man?
I'm doing absolutely amazing, man. Looking forward to this Christmas season. Take my kids to Disney, so
Oh,
I'm feeling good about that. Yeah. How
good
about you? How
time.
y'all doing over there?
Hey, doing good, doing good. I've done the Christmas in Disney before. That'll be awesome for the kids and hopefully for the grown ups as well. So
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
good deal. All right, Pirates got their bowl destination. They probably wish they were going to Florida, but instead it'll be Annapolis, Maryland for another trip to the Military Bowl, taking on the Pittsburgh Panthers. What'd you think of the bowl destination, Andre?
I love it. I love it. Annapolis. Definitely gonna be a little chilly on the 27th. But yeah, I love that bowl matchup. Obviously, as an athlete, you would love to be in warmer climate, but hey, you just take it for what it's worth, and it's not gonna be too bad for either team because we're used to playing in those type of conditions. So I love it.
Yeah, and second straight year there, second straight opportunity to beat an ACC team, and ECU fans love when they get a chance to knock off an ACC opponent and an opponent in Pitt that we have some history with going back to the early '90s during the Peach Bowl season. That was one of the best wins. Jeff Blake ran in a touchdown and then ran in a 2 point conversion, and the Pirates win in dramatic fashion. So you got a little history there, both with Pitt and the ACC.
Yeah, I mean, shit, what 92 game last time we met. So I'm looking forward to just seeing those. I like when those colors clash too, like that loud color blue and yellow with the purple and gold. And
Okay.
just thinking about the history there, a 2-2 matchup. I mean, a matchup where we won 2 games, they won 2 games. So this should be interesting. We never played them in a bowl game, but I think it's a great way for us to finish the season and transition to the next season like we did last year with just that momentum. With that, what would that be, 9-4 and
Yeah.
62 in the conference? That'll look amazing. When you look at the finishing standings.
And you also talk about the history of Pitt, but also Blake Harold mentioned today Tim Doust is on the sideline for Pitt, former defensive line coach here at East Carolina. So he was talking to some of his players and said, if you're on that side of the field, talk some junk to Tim Doust. So
Didn't we do a swap with them? We had
it was
special teams coach
right
last year.
Powell,
Yeah,
Powell,
came
yeah,
from Pitt.
yeah.
So
So
No, I love hearing stuff like that because it adds like some extra juice and energy into the game when those type of connections and affiliations are involved with the whole matchup. So I'm sure he's hyped, and whoever was involved with him being at ECU, they're hyped too to go against.
Andre, you got distractions, if you want to call them that, with John David Baker. Maybe talking to some other teams right now as he is still ECU's offensive coordinator, but people want his services. So you got that part of bowl season as well. I think Blake Harrell was asked today about opt outs and things like that. And as of right now, we don't have any to report, but that's something that comes with bowl season as well these days.
It does, and it's even more intense now. I mean, just due to the amount of pressure that each team and each university faces each year, like getting better and improving, and having like staple pieces in place to lure in recruits. That's terrifying, but I do love how one thing about coaches when they're in that carousel of like being wanted, they do show like great professionalism, being able to like juggle both. And I think that's really hard, but it's something that's like overlooked, and we don't give them a lot of credit for because I mean, just the discomfort of just knowing you could lose somebody like that, this is such a huge part of your success for the season, and still be able to, balance that out and stay on course to put your best performance on the field. I think that's something that we should just marvel at. But I like seeing stuff like that as well.
Andre, I know a lot of times coaches like practice more than players, but the bowl practices, I always hear how valuable those are for a program, especially for young guys and things like that. So, what do you remember, Andre, about a season not going to a bowl and then your bowl season here, as far as the practices go, and how valuable that can be for a coach and his team moving forward?
Yeah, I think one thing that's very noticeable is like when you're not in the bowl game, like when the season ends, you feel like so lonely. Like it's like you're left out on earth by yourself. But when you're in a bowl game, you're like still involved with the activities and like that whole energy of like college football, just football overall. I just remember like, just feeling thankful to be able to continue to play when some of my friends was not playing, they were at home, and just having, one more opportunity to, put on the uniform and represent East Carolina. But also I just like the festivities and stuff like that. It just teaches you a lot about whatever city you're going to or who the sponsors are. And players always like, good gifts and stuff like that. So those things stand out the most when you think about the bowl games.
Andre, going off of that, I asked Blake Harrell today about, your last regular season game to the bowl game. It's like 4 or 5 weeks. Like, what's the challenge of a player trying to stay focused with, preparing for a bowl game, and also you have, like, mixed in, you have December's a tough month for student athletes with finals and all that kind of stuff. So, what's the challenge like for a student athlete to try to stay focused and try to stay on path and try to compete?
I think the challenge, like, to be able to like have a true like measuring stick of like the degree of how challenging it is, it's going to be based on like your culture, like, and it's going to start at the top. So, one thing when you look at like our athletic director and you look at like the amount of pride that you can easily see in the football program, I think with the head coach and all the leadership that we have, I don't think it will be challenging off of them. But if you don't have the right pieces in place, it can be challenging because you can take your foot off the pedal and you can just get relaxed and you're not really understanding the significance of the opportunity. But I don't feel like none of our players will be in that position right now, just because I just love how the head coach has been leading since he's had the opportunity. And it's more at stake now too, just because you can't put out a lot of bad film if you're going to be thinking about NILs or transferring. So it's more incentives for you to stay locked in.
Aundrae Allison joining us. We will be with you early morning, December 27th, 8 a.m. on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. 11 a.m. kickoff, Andre. What do you think about that early kickoff as a player?
Now I did see that challenge. I was like, holy crap, like 11 a.m. I mean, that would be so. I would be thinking about that weeks in advance on how I could utilize my time wisely, go to bed early, make sure I get up super early and get my body going because it's 11 a.m. and it's going to be a little cold.
Yeah.
So those are two like factors that you definitely have to consider. And you should always be anticipating like inclement weather when you're in that DMV area. So that 11 a.m. that did feel when I saw that time, I was like, why did it was such an early game? Why couldn't we play at 7, man? Like, so I'm looking forward to see what they do with that time because that's an easy out to say why you didn't come and perform. But I don't think that
Right.
should be an excuse.
It's a total change from last year because I think the kickoff time for last year's game was 5:45, and this year's 11 o'clock. What's your morning like as a player for that early kickoff? I know you've played 12 o'clock games, but what's the morning preparation like for a 11 o'clock game?
I think the key to the whole thing is being able to get food in your system fast enough so that it can process or digest like correctly. You don't want to feel too heavy. I definitely know that the night before. That's pretty much like the best way of understanding like how you're going to perform because that sleep is critical. Stretching before, drinking a lot of water before, and by like I say, like a cold game like this, you definitely want to stay on top of your stretching and things like that. So the earlier you get up and the earlier you go to sleep, that is like one of the best ways to have like an advantage over your opponent, and also feel confident in what you're gonna put out there on the field. So I will get up and eat early as possible, stretch, get a good lather and get the blood flowing. And just when kickoff come, I'll just probably be as close to a full game sweat as I can be.
Aundrae Allison joining us. Andre, we talked about your bowl game at ECU and how your thoughts were elsewhere and for the future
Mhm.
when ECU was played in that bowl game versus USF. What what was your teammates' thoughts on? I mean, I always think about this too. Like people say, "Oh man, he's letting the team down," but in a lot of ways, like they understand that it's kind of your life, your decision, things like that. So, did you find that your teammates supported you when maybe you didn't want to go out there during the bowl game and risk injury, or did you have guys who were upset with you? How was the feelings on that in your case?
No, the guys were all on my side because you got to think like at that moment, it was a different experience because a lot of people didn't have the opportunity that I had at that time. I mean, like I said, I could have left the year before easily and been drafted a lot earlier. I would have been drafted a lot earlier that year too. But yeah, the players are just looking at, wow, like this is somebody about to really go to the NFL. You talk about it a lot. It was a lot of disbelief when I was saying I was gonna go, but then the scouts started coming around, and it wasn't that noticeable. It wasn't like I just totally shut it down. It was just
Right.
like, um, it was just a lot of disagreement too, as far as like me, Coach Kirkpatrick, and Coach Hopes. Um, it just, I don't know. The players was like my side, but of course the coaches are supposed to look at it the way they look at it.
Sure.
It's so many incentives for them. If the win, you get all this bonus, you get this. Your chances to go somewhere else increases. But for the
Yeah.
players, like, okay, you go out there, you get hurt, you're done. So they looked at it more like a business decision. Like, well, I would probably do the same thing, but like I said, hindsight is always 2020.
Yeah.
And then now, just fast forward, I'm just looking at what the current climate is of things right now. It's just not. It's a no brainer now. Players who can come out and got value like that, they're not playing in games. It's not worth playing in.
Well, you were early on that, Andre. Now we got whole teams opting out of bowl games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, the crazy scenario did happen. Duke beats Virginia there in Charlotte, and that means we get Tulane and James Madison in the college football playoff. How'd you think how all that shook out, Andre?
Amazing, amazing. It's always great to see new, fresh brands in our sport, just because it just increases the notoriety. It gets people more engaged. Because I know how it feels to be a fan of a team that really doesn't get its just due, and you're just thinking like, well, we can compete with that team. We should get this chance, and it just provides that landscape so more people could be involved with the whole experience and have more eyes on the sport. So I like seeing that, and I love how Duke they came around. I tell you, it's to see them out there like that, and they have a really good basketball program. They're like really doing some great things right now at that university. That's really impressive.
The ACC champion doesn't get in, but Miami does get in, so they had to, I guess, fill in an ACC spot for that 12-team playoff. But what's your thoughts on the format now, and do you think they should extend it to 16 or what is your thoughts on that, Andre?
Yeah, I would love to see extension for sure. Like I said, it provides more opportunity, it provides more visibility for other teams, and then it also just it gives people like players who are being overlooked and they know that they can play on that level. It just gives them a chance to like feel good about those opportunities to do it. So yeah, they should definitely do 16. They should extend the season as long as possible because that season when football ends to the next season is torture for me. Like, so I'm just like, they should be playing all the way to June sometime. That's how I feel. I'm telling you.
Andre, we talked about it before. You like the buzz in the city when good things are happening with the sports team, and great day for the Panthers yesterday. They didn't play, and the Bucks lost, so they're tied for first. And here we go, final 4-game stretch for a chance to host a playoff game.
Yes, and you know what? I'm telling you, you can feel the difference too here, Cliff, because in the past it'd just be, somber songs about, they can't wait till this turns around. Now everybody is wearing the Panthers jerseys, on Sundays and stuff like that. More hats, more koozies. You're seeing all that stuff now. So that's great. Great way to, rebound and bounce back and get Bryce some help and get him some protection. So I think he's coming into his own. And next thing you know, the Hornets will be doing what they're supposed to do.
Oh,
Because we have the talent. It's just like we got the talent. It's just gelling it together and just the right people in place organization wise.
How's the soccer team doing in Charlotte? But no, it's been a fun season for the Panthers, and it's been up and down. It's been an emotional roller coaster. But you mentioned like everybody's wearing their Panthers stuff and everybody's wearing their Panthers hats. I remember my senior year of high school when we went to the Super Bowl. Everybody and their mama was wearing Panther stuff at my high school that Friday right before the Super Bowl. And I was like, where did you guys come from? This is if you're going to ride with us from day one. So
Right.
it's frustrating, man. But no, it's been fun. So
No, it is, and the thing about that Super Bowl that makes me sad. I almost stopped watching football after that Super Bowl. 'Cause,
Me too.
man, I was like, I was so pissed. Like the catch that they took away from Jericho Cotchery was my teammate
Cotchery,
in New
yeah.
York. Just like it's no way. I was just like, man, it's no way Cam Newton is gonna get beat by Peyton Manning, and he couldn't even throw an out route.
Yeah. Couldn't throw
You
it
know, and
30 yards downfield.
man, that had me sad. I was so close to not watching football after that. I was sad, like, cause you got to think we've had that experience twice in the city. The same thing happened with New England, you know,
Right.
and I feel like, and you
At
know what the
least there was
story
some
is.
offense in that game, Andre. There was
No,
no offense in
it
the
was. Now I don't know
Broncos
if
game.
y'all are familiar with that storyline about the players who were on the Panthers that time, how they are absolutely hell bent on knowing that the Patriots was cheating playbook wise.
Huh.
I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but like I had teammates like Chris Jenkins, when I was in New
Mm-hmm.
York. Like certain players, they wouldn't even talk about it unless all phones was out the room.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, they were like, they was like, Andre, it's no way. I'm not even saying it was like it's a possibility or they could have. They were like, I know that they were cheating, like they knew our plays.
Wow.
So I mean, you always think about those two things, but that's what I was thinking about the whole time. Like, man, this is our time, and that would have been a great move for the city. Good
But
win.
on the Panthers talk, I'm a big Panthers fan, Andre. So I just while we're on it, but with the success that Carolina has had this year, I mean, over 500 this late in the year, I feel like nobody's really talked about the head coach, Dave Canales. What's your thoughts on him, and how good of a job do you think he's doing so far?
And he's doing a great job. You can see it though. I think the telltale sign is always like the amount of fight that you see in players and stuff like that. And then another thing I give him a lot of credit for is because it's a bad thing, but players do this. So he comes in, he's like a pretty boy.
Yeah,
He looks
too
like this
nice.
on camera. Yeah, so players can easily, you in there with alphas. So they just won't listen to you just because you look like a model, But he's done a good because you can see that in Miami. That's how they probably feel about that coach.
Right.
But for him to be able to have still like the command on the room in that respect but to get the players to go out there and put their best foot forward. I do think that says a lot. And you have to think he doesn't have like the best owner when it comes down to David Tepper. So he's balancing it out really, really good, So it's really, really impressive what he's doing.
Was it the first preseason game or regular season game you said he was too soft?
Yeah, it was the first preseason game last year in his first year. I said, dude, this guy, we lost really bad. It was a preseason game, Andre. I mean, we lost by like 20, and he's in his press conference like, "Oh, hey, look, we're going to run and we're going to do this." And I came on the show the next day and I was like, this guy's too soft, man. I was like, this guy's too nice. He's too nice and too soft to be a head coach in the NFL, but he's doing a pretty good job this year. So I retract that.
Yeah, man. I coached the climate, the players now. This is where I think a lot of people read and misjudge how players are now. The temperament. It's not like they're soft. They're not like they don't need to be like
Yeah.
cuddled or like they're not gentle. It's like the players are more empathetic about everything. Like you have to think like there's so many dimensions to this football that was not available for players to know and have back then. Like contracts, how much teams are making, how much like all the sponsors are paying. What is like given to the players out of the overall amount of money brought in, or like the ability to know how much value they actually provide. Certain things like that is like that's what the new player is like. So you have to have a coach who can like empathize with their way of seeing things, as opposed to being like a dictator. It's just the days of dictatorship. It's no longer needed. Because you can play really good and not even be angry. It's like boxers do it all the time. Like a boxer will knock you out and he's not even mad.
That's right.
So that's the thing that we used to always talk to our coaches about. Like, why do you want me to play mad? Like I played my best when I'm mad. I just know how to control the anger. I'm not out here like as a mass murderer or nothing like. But they always equate that to like, okay, you're good or you're like mad and you're aggressive, so that means you're better than this player who's just chill. That's the only difference
Yeah.
that I see.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, there's two extremes: the rah rah hard ass guy, and then kind of the new age Dave Canales. And I feel like Dan Campbell meets in the middle pretty good because he's the rah rah, he's all that, but he also seems the players love him too, Aundrae. So I think that's a good example of kind of I don't know, maybe the modern day old school coach, the way he does it.
I think Rex Ryan was like the first coach who actually like was able to bring both
Put them
sides
together,
and
yeah.
be
Right.
successful. Like when I was there, it was the most. I've never been that impressed with how he made every single person involved with the Jets feel like they were special. Like I would see him like give a cart ride to a player who was like on the bubble from being scratched. It was like a tryout player. Like just how he would pick up Darrell Reeves and take them from practice and training camp to the rooms. He would do a player who was like on the bubble like that, or he would joke with you. He was like, "Hey, all right, this time Andre, go play middle linebacker." And I'm like, "Rick, are you still? You can do it." He was like that, and like you could have any conversation. You could talk about money. You could talk about your contract. Like I was on Minnesota, it was like you would get penalized if you was talking about like how much you was wanting and stuff like that. Like, no, we don't talk about money here. Well, like, why? But Rex, he brought it together. But at the same time, he'll get on your ass too. Like, okay, no,
Right.
we're not doing this, such and such. No, we're not doing that. So
Yeah.
he had that great balance, and players love Rex Ryan.
I was going to say, well, how was Rex Ryan as a coach? You kind of explained it there, but when I hear Rex Ryan, I think of the clip. Were you on the team when they had the Hard Knocks and he
Go
was
get
like,
a effing snack.
"Let's go get an effing snack."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
he seemed like a character. for
We
sure.
gotta wrap it up. We went long
He's a
with
good.
we always go long with Aundrae because the
He's a good
chats
guest.
are so good.
Yeah.
Aundrae, appreciate it, man. Let's catch up again next Monday.
Absolutely looking forward to it, man. I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right.
See you, Andre.
All right, thank you. All right.